Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to a lovely new set of videos of another lovely visual novel. But this time we're diving into the lovely underworld and the dark side of the evening in Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. I'm Fenacinni, obviously, and welcome to another exciting visual novel. I'm diving away into something a little more seriously because I would love to actually just keep playing more of these. I love the effects that they have included in this starting screen for a painting. It is beautiful. Like the moving water, the thunder in the background, it's all just wonderful. Plus you have, I love the bite of the apple because it's the big apple. It's the big apple. Yeah, okay. All right, we're gonna choose a new save slot. We're going to start a game. Ooh, we get to pick our clan. We have a Bruja, a Ventru, and a Toreador. Ooh. So for those of you who are not familiar with the world of Vampire the Masquerade, the world of Vampire the Masquerade is, I'm going to repeat that entire phrase because I can't just use, it is a world of shadows and fun things, and each vampire that it kind of inhabits belongs to one of 13 clans, some of which are here, others of which we'll probably run into, I assume, as this goes along. But the Bruja are generally kind of your rebellious types, as I've indicated by the little lovely anarchist upside down anarchy symbol. And they're generally rebellious leaders, people who strive for change. Your Ventru, who have the sword and scepter, are kind of the aristocratic blue. Oh, they have little titles. The rabble rebel against power and rage against authority. A seemingly insignificant man with significant ideas will join the ranks tonight. Okay. They kind of give a little bit. The aristocratic blue bloods embody wealth, sovereignty, and control. A top-level corporate executive will join their ranks tonight. But yes, the Venture are very much about wealth, control, power of the monetary sense. And last but not least, our Toreador is the divas seek the thrill of art, romance, and cruelty amidst stagnant undeath. A tormented artist will join the ranks tonight. So we have 3 different options. I think I'm going to go with the Ventru, because I personally think that is one of my favorites clans to be that. All 3 of these are some of my favorites. These 3 and the Finbloods are my top 4. Amanda is our main character's name. Why don't we call her Shivana? Off of a character from an NPC, though she looks nothing like this, but Shivana. Ooh. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was a human, I would have told you it was just superstitious bullshit. That we were all designers of our destinies. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened to the very same place you're standing right now. By the way, fate, you decide. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen a little longer. See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was an incandescent myself. I was not hot shit, had it all: money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye, the one you need to be born with. Real quick, I'm gonna hop into here and slow this down. I had put it on fast when I was setting things up, but I realized I think medium speed might be better to what I'm trying to read. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided that would fit me much better. She was a 9th generation kindred, just like you, and an apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me the peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. It's such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggart and see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate, a message saying, you're internally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, but it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys, and me, just her amusing subject. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much, do not get me wrong. But it's precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one that I'd trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy, asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished. But this is New York. I don't really know about other cities, but in this one, fate really does exist. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. Ooh, this is how it begins. Interesting. I love that. First scene, got a lovely person, a 10th generation, if given by the fact that her sire was a 9th, and she talked about both of them as she's, I believe. Not sure. But pulling in a favor in kindred society is pretty deep, pretty big, depending. It also depends on how big of the favor was to begin with. Kindred society works on favors and debts of not a monetary support, but of doing things and items and deeds, those sort of things. But we transport ourselves over to what looks to be a lovely kind of office space. Your phone rings. It's your boss, again. The setting sun that filled your high-rise office an hour ago is gone. The city looks like an ocean of light from up here, spreading for miles to the north. You pick up. We're on the south side. I wonder where exactly we are. You pick up. You're about to call it a day. Forget about the world of fintech. Could be fintech. Could be fintech. Anyway, sorry. And decompress at home. No dice. One of the investors wants to meet you. His voice, the perfect mix of authority and sleaze. He'll come by your office in an hour. You look at the clock. An hour? He's got to be kidding. Yeah, I know, but stick around. He's a heavyweight. You'll want to make a good impression. Fine. You grit your teeth a little. The boss hangs up. 2 hours. Might as well pour another coffee into yourself and figure out how best to use this to your advantage. You suspect everyone knows that you suspect everyone knows that you're not happy with your current position. That, in fact, you feel squished against the glass ceiling that comes with the territory. Sure, your idiot superior might have gotten the job only because he's the CEO's golfing buddy, but you're going to put an unholy amount of work into your advancement. Times were, you'd laugh off the idea of having to stay at the office until 9 p.m. You had a partner to go home to, the nightly Netflix and chill ritual to perform, complete with pizza or Chinese takeout. Ever since you moved to the latter, though, your hours have only gotten longer. Food, mostly at the company cafeteria, sometimes takeout, always in a rush. You praise the heavens for your crazy metabolism and dread the day it finally decides to give up. Rest. At this point, the cleaning lady who takes care of your apartment probably spends more time in it in your bedroom than you do. You flash back to your boss quoting Shakespeare to impress his new, extremely attractive and uncomfortably young secretary. Oof. For some must watch while some must sleep, so runs the world away. Drinks, mostly with colleagues, and they all pretty much hate you at this point. Another flashback, this time to the most profitable quarter in the company's history. Still, the board decided that layoffs were in order. Your boss didn't feel like letting people know in person, so he passed that privilege on to you. Gotta hand it to him, he always knew how to pick his battles. But maybe, just maybe, tonight is the night it's all gonna change. You decide to play the good looks angle. Nothing too slutty. You leave your blouse slightly unbuttoned. Check if your ass looks as good as you remembered it in your pencil skirt. Mirror says yes. It's not something you're proud of, but it's something you've become too jaded to care. Oh. But you've become too jaded to care. Well, anyway. Knowing your luck, the investor is going to be one of two types. A self-obsessed Musk wannabe in his 20s, or a fat old pervert drenched in cologne. You hear the elevator ding. Time to get this show on the road. You take one final look in the mirror and fix your hair as the footsteps echo across the empty hallway. The man who approaches your office is not what you expected. He's slick, to be sure, but he seems a bit more refined than your usual company man. Expensive suit, matching tie and shirt, confident in his stride, surprisingly good-looking. Good evening. I hope this unforeseen visit isn't too much of an inconvenience. God, that voice. You're taken aback by how smooth and strong it is. And his eyes, steel blue, cold, intense. He's all business, professional, treats you in a manner that's appropriate to your stature. When he speaks, he actually looks at you in the eye and not at your cleavage. He asks some questions about your work, tells you how he noticed your input after talking to the CEO, another golfing buddy, and comes charmingly close to calling your boss an incompetent doofus. All the while, you try to guess his accent, but can't quite place it. European, sure, but where from? I know I've kept you long enough. Would you indulge me and join me for a drink? Of course. For a minute, there seemed to be Of course. Of course. For a minute, he seemed like he wasn't that kind of guy. But what the hell? You go with it. He seems nice enough. Besides, it's not like you have other plans. The investor has a limo waiting downstairs, and the driver takes you to a high-end restaurant in Williamsburg. Ooh, we're in Williamsburg. I love the steam coming off that coffee, by the way. Thank you, people who designed this lovely visual novel. The effort is not gone unnoticed. A seat is waiting for you in the deluxe lounge. It's all just the two of you. You talk about this and that. Your companion seems to have a knack for history. So, tell me, what would you do if you had full control of the company? You almost choke on your wine. This is your chance. You say what you've been on your mind for months, but hide it behind a veneer of professional corpo babble. Refocusing, listening to your instincts for once, restructuring, kicking out your boss, aggressively pursuing new markets, getting the hell away from all these horrible people. He likes the sound of that. He leans forward. His eyes flash with intensity and something else. A strange emotion that was not there before. You'll do just fine. His words echo inside your head as you black out. You wake up, God only knows how much later. As you try to piece together what happened, you hear a familiar voice, the investor or whoever the hell he is, talking to someone. You suddenly recall snippets, fragmented memories, his sapphire eyes intently locked with yours, his teeth suddenly longer and sharper. And something else, a feeling on your neck that takes you back to your last orgasm, a company trip to Florida, a sweaty room, the cutie from HR who doesn't work there anymore, and then darkness. Yes, I'm done here. Consider my debt paid. The investor pushes the other figure aside and walks away from the lounge, barely bothering to look at you. The door locks behind him. Some time passes before you find the strength to get up from the couch. You touch your lips. Blood. Did that asshole hit you? You try to stand up, but your head is pounding and your stomach is like a heavy knot pulling you down. You didn't have that much to drink. He must have spiked your wine. This is bad. You frantically check your clothes. Pristine. Doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden, a feeling hits you unlike anything you felt before. You fall to the floor, writhing in all-encompassing pain and hunger. The kind that makes your insides burn, that cannot be denied. You try to calm yourself down with breathing exercise I taught you at some bullshit mindfulness course. Oh, that's when it hits you. You're not breathing. And holy shit, your heart should be jumping out of your chest with that realization, but it's not moving. Not even a beat. The door unlocks. You hear a startled voice. A young man in a waiter's outfit. His accent thick with a Eastern European harshness, leans over and asks you if you're all right. For a brief moment, you wonder what the hell he's doing here. Everything is wrong. Then his smell reaches your nostrils. It's intoxicating. Everything feels right again. He holds out his arm to help you stand up. You grab it firmly with both hands, and then you bite down. You sink your teeth right next to the old-school pinup tattoo of Rita Hayworth on his forearm. It takes you a moment to process what you're doing. A part of you wants to break away, but a stronger voice implores you to keep drinking. One thing becomes clear. You are definitely enjoying this. He only struggles a little and quickly falls to his knees. You can see his eyes now, pale blue and confused. You only bring yourself to let him go once he collapses onto the floor. Your bite leaves a mess of his forearm. Poor Rita, all bloodied, missing half her face. Did you just drink this guy's blood? Gosh. You spit out a piece of torn flesh. That's a... Why? Where? What was in that fucking wine? The managerial call. You're barely able to focus. Your heart and your lungs. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute here. I love this. This game is wonderful. This game is beautiful. It's dark. I love the way it captures being fuck, what's the word I'm talking about? Being bitten. There we go. I can English. I love how it captures all of that. And as someone who's been through an unfortunately similar situation to what she's experiencing, boy, do those fragments come back in the weirdest ways, in the most random times. So I feel this. I feel this lady a lot right now. And I find it very interesting. I'm wondering that first scene, if that was before what's happening now, if that favor is the favor that man just repaid, or if it has still yet to come and that's from the future. The way the visual novels are written leads me to believe that is the first event, and then we're moving on through a series of events. But with the way I know VTM likes to work itself in a lot of scenarios, not always the case. Anyway, barely able to focus, your heart and your lungs still motionless, you reach for your phone and dial 911. 911 operator, what's your emergency? I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Ma'am, where are you right now? The door of the lounge swing open. The man who enters is not the one that brought you here, though there are similarities. He's tall for one, broad-shouldered, handsome, dressed in an immaculate suit, but his skin is darker and the look on his face tells you that he is not here to negotiate a deal. He notices a smartphone in your hand. Pass me the phone if you want to live. The man's voice is persuasive, calm, but carrying clear threat. He's got the aura of a viciously efficient corporate shark. You find it hard to argue with him. Ma'am, hello? I apologize for wasting your time. My new colleague got drunk and is now trying to impress everyone with her antics. Good night. He disconnects the call and places your phone in his pocket. For whatever reason, you can barely take your eyes off the stranger. As hypnotizing as his presence is, though, it's also highly discomforting. Good evening, miss. I'm here to pick you up. Who are you? Pick me up. Yeah, I guess pick me up would be the question. Pick me up? Did I stutter? The stranger approaches the waiter and examines his body. Critical of the condition, but he might live. Anyway, then he sets his sights on you. I know this is all new to you, but I've dealt with hundreds of strays like you. And going by experience, they tend to fall into one of two categories. First, there are the smart ones who carefully obey my every word and don't try to pull off anything stupid. Always get them where they need to be, safe and sound. Then there are the dumb ones. The punks who thought they could take me on. The wise guys who tried to contact somebody secretly and without permission. The troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, most of them never reached their destination at all. His voice becomes slightly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given this speech before, likely dozens of times. So you see, while I generally consider myself pretty smart, I'm also a Mets fan. It's one of my true weaknesses. It's my one true weakness. One that inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system when dealing with pups like you. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful situations. But cross me 3 times and you're out. No excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. As he's talking, he slowly approaches you, adding a bit of theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually, he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. You realize it's a test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes, and you're out. Say, I understand, sir. Now. Every atom of your being screams for you to obey his authority. Ooh. I understand, sir. Fuck you, sir. And what are you even talking about? Fuck you, sir sounds like such a Bruja thing to do. But since we're a Ventru and it is in our best interest to do things, and we're also we come from business, so we understand when we are not in the place to make those kind of demands or requests. We will follow his orders. I understand, sir. Stick to that tone and you'll do just fine. Moving on, is there anyone you'd want to inform of your current situation? Tell them you're all right. He flashes his fangs briefly, and for some reason, the sight sends a chill down your spine. There's something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you? There's no one. No, I don't have anyone. The stranger squints at you. No family, no lover, no friends. Nothing. A job. Your blank stare tells him the whole story. He immediately stops prying and gives you something even worse than a look of pity. A look of honest compassion. Well, that makes things simpler. But let me be crystal clear, just in case. From this point, you are subject to different laws than the one you grew up under. And you will be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anyone know you're still alive. You're forbidden from anyone from showing your face to anywhere they know you. If anyone comes looking for you, it's over for both you and them. That practiced tone again. You put on your poker face and listen in silence. So, unless you want your boss to end up at the bottom of the Hudson, I'd suggest you cooperate. Don't tempt me. He smiles. Oh. That noise always gets me a little bit. Something absolutely sickening about it. He smiles, revealing his fangs again. There's something absolutely sickening about it. Suddenly, you feel overwhelmed by a sense of exhaustion. You pass out. When you regain your senses, you find yourself in the stranger's arms. The man is holding you as you would a spouse that's had a little too much to drink. You try to break free, but he holds you close and only gives you a cautioning look. Only when you cease your struggling does he let you go. Only now do you notice the change in scenery. You find yourself in a fancy lobby right next to the elevator. The place is virtually empty, save for a single concierge and some cleaning staff. Your companion gestures to at the concierge as you pass, and he picks up the phone. The elevator arrives, the door opens, and the man motions towards the cabin. After you. I'm gonna scream. I'm not going anywhere. Where are we going? Where are we going? I feel like not cooperating is probably not in our best interest, and as we are a people that are about the opportunity, this seems like our best one. To a safe place. That's all you need to know. Trust me, you don't want to make this difficult. Just get in. Step inside the elevator. Going against your instincts, you enter the elevator cabin. Smooth jazz is playing over the speakers as the elevator starts its descent. You are dazed, panicky, but somehow locked in place. On the one hand, you find your stranger's presence oddly soothing. On the other, you can feel your body tensing up with stress. You can't help but think back to the young waiter, the doe-eyed look in his face, the confused look before he gave you just before. No, it's better not to think about it. Plus, you have other things, to worry about. Like the fact that you're being kidnapped. The cabin door opens to the same garage you arrived at with the investor some hours ago. The man shows you a black Cadillac Escalade. Ooh, Caddy coming in with that fucking sponsorship. I know what you're thinking. Getting into the car with some strange man? Boy, sure seems a dumb idea. Maybe I can make a run for it. I might be able to lose him. So, let me be perfectly clear. Your best bet is to get in, relax, and enjoy the ride. The waiter, what do you want? I have money. I think my concern is over the dead body. The waiter is my only concern. Do you think that waiter upstairs, is he going to be all right? Yes. You look him in the eyes and can immediately tell he's lying. No more questions. Get in the car, please. Make a run for it. Get in the car. I think getting in the car is our best option. He made it clear that we won't make it. He's also not hiding his face, so if you do run, even just as me thinking as a human being, not even as the VTM, if you wanted to make a run for it, my brain would think that he's showing his face, so he's not concerned about you getting away. So either if you do make a run for it, he'll kill you, or something worse will happen. And I'm just going to get in the car. It seems like the worst idea ever, but the man's made it very clear that you have no choice in the matter. Are you going to hurt me is the one I'd ask the most. Are you going to hurt me? No, not tonight, and at the very least. Unless you make me. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Listen, you really need to quit stalling. We're on a bit of a schedule here. The sun comes up in about 2 hours, and I don't intend to be here when it does. What is this about? Look, I just want to know what this is about. Then wait until tomorrow. He opens the car door and gestures towards it. You see no point in delaying the inevitable, so you get in. The door locks behind you. The Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets into the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives away without another word. Did I die? I think that's the answer I would ask about all of these, is did I die? Depends on your definition of death. Listen, I realize you have many questions. Tomorrow, you will get some answers. But tonight, you need to do what I say. And right now, I need some quiet, please. You feel too confused to protest. You stay silent for the rest of the ride, even as more questions bubble up to the surface. One of them being, did you actually kill someone tonight? Staring out of the window, you find it hard to focus and quickly lose track of where you're headed. You can only tell you haven't left Manhattan. Another underground parking. Almost featureless, empty. The car stops and the man opens the door for you. We're here. A stranger walks you to a nearby door. He opens it and motions you to get in. Go on in. Make yourself comfortable. If you get hungry again, take a look in the fridge. I'll pick you up tomorrow, and you'll get your answers. Behind the door is a small room. No windows, just a simple bed, a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. A small fridge is humming away in the corner, accompanied by a rattling AC fan in the wall. You're leaving me here? That's it. You're just gonna leave me here? That's it. For now, at least. Look, this room is your best chance of seeing another night. I realize you've been put in a problematic situation, and it's not entirely your fault. Cooperate, and you might still make it. You will learn more tomorrow, but for now, for the time being, get in and get cozy. He gestures inside the room. I'm still gonna go with the idea of following his instructions, because that is the best chance of survival from my perspective as somebody, and also how I know the Ventro to be. You step inside. The stranger nods. Good night. He locks the door behind you. It looks very sturdy. You open the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there, filled with red liquid. No label. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame. At least it's not too filthy. You think back to how this evening began. The investor, is he friends with the dark-skinned stranger who picked you up from the restaurant? What happens now? Unable to relax, you spend an hour or so playing out various scenarios in your head. Eventually, you decide to give in and let exhaustion take over. Whatever tomorrow brings, you'd rather face it well rested. Plus, there's no way in hell your boss isn't going to notice your absence tomorrow. That and maybe some of the restaurant staff will feel a pang of conscience. Someone will notify the police. Someone will find you. Right? You flash back to the waiter's tattoo, the bloody Rita Hayworth winking at you over a pale mess of a wound. You did this. You bit him, drank his blood, and it tasted good. What if you could never go home again? You are so tired. Your entire body tenses up one last time, and before you know it, you drift away into oblivion. You wake up. Okay. So, seeing as we are starting a new day, and it's been about half an hour. Jeez. I think this is where we'll end off tonight's episode. So, thank you all for watching. When we come back tomorrow, we will be playing some more of this lovely, lovely gem. Come back tomorrow. I say tomorrow, but probably next week. Next Monday, we'll do another episode. So, thank you all for watching, and we will see you all then. Bye-bye.